I'm just kidding. Hello, and welcome
Hello.
to another episode of This Is Our Year. We are about 15 minutes late this morning because we had technical difficulties, which means I didn't know how to fix my computer fast enough, and blamed it on Doug for about the first 5 minutes of the transgression, and now realized it was me. And
No,
we're here. We're here.
to be fair, it's 11:15 in the morning for me, and I'm absolutely hammered already because Saturday. So
hmm
I'm an easy one to blame.
Are you really? Are you really
No,
hammered right now?
no,
Oh, I was
no,
like,
no.
that. This is
But
going to be a great show.
no, but we can maybe accelerate it with this. It's gonna.
Lamarca.
Yes.
Lamarca little what pony is do
Woo.
we call these ponies or half what do we call these?
I don't know. I'm not that bougie. People think I am because I'm from Connecticut. But what do we call these, Mike? You're,
I
you're
mean,
you're in the 1%
it's
now.
sparkling wine, but I don't know what you
It's
call the
prosecco.
half bottle. Prosecco.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Wait, what do you call the? That's a good question.
like the little half bottle of it, right? Like I
Right.
think do we I don't think we call them ponies in for champagne, but
No, probably not, right?
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Miniature ponies, show ponies.
Show ponies, Shetland, if you will.
Yes.
What is? Oh,
I,
it's the first thing that pops up. My computer is smart. It's a
yeah. Well,
piccolo.
it's listening to
No,
you.
it's a piccolo. It's a piccolo.
A piccolo.
A piccolo. You've got a piccolo of La Marca. I don't know if it's actually able to be called a piccolo because that's not really champagne. It's a sparkling wine because you know the
Isn't it
distinction is
like a flute thing too?
maybe. Oh yes, a
Everybody
piccolo is a
plays the
miniature flute.
piccolo.
Yes, exactly. Look
Yes,
at you. We're teaching
I
our audience all sorts of great things this morning.
I'm a player of many flutes. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Um,
the
no,
skin.
yeah, that reminds me of something that happened. No one, you ever hear like stuff that just sticks in your brain, and you're like, "Why is this here?" But it's
Yeah,
still there.
always.
And
That's
I
why
heard
I'm a
someone.
vat of useless knowledge.
I I remember someone. This was like I don't even remember the context. It might have been like a interview on Howard Stern. I don't even remember who said this, but they were telling me about David Spade doing like some like pre-show like crowd warm up or like just some stand up, whatever. And so he's talking about I guess masturbation or
Okay.
something. He's meaning to talk about masturbation, and he's like, ladies, I play a little bit of the skin flute myself, if you know what I mean. And he kept saying it over and over, and everybody's like, dude, that's not what that means. and and this was like 20 years ago. This like he was already an established like comedian. So
Mm.
skin flute.
Good, good. I think we have our title for today.
Playing the skin flute. Cheers, buddy. It's 8 a.m.
Cheers.
over there. I'm guessing you're not drinking.
No, I'm drinking
Yeah,
my breakfast of champions, my protein acid gobbledygook over here. It's
yeah.
nutritious, not delicious, but it gets me going. It gets me
It
going.
gets you going.
Mm.
What's been going on with you?
So I got to tell you, I have a neighbor across the street, and he's a nice enough guy, but his car, he's got this old like Ford 500, which is like the old cop car, right? And there's a bird's nest like right above where he parks his car. And so the other day I'm
Smart.
outside. Well, I mean, it's the city's light pole, right? What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
But I was outside yesterday or a couple days ago, and there's like a peregrine hawk or peregrine falcon. I don't know. There's some sort of hawk up there,
Yeah.
right? And it's eating. It looks like a rat or something in the nest. And so I'm like, God damn! And then I look down, and there's like all this like bird shit, but it's not like from a fucking sparrow, dude. This is from like what looks like a hawk taking a poop, right? Like it's just massive amounts of like bird shit splattered all over his driveway, right? And I'm like,
Pwned.
damn. I'm like, damn. So then this morning I come out to the garage to start setting up for the recording, and I look out the window and I'm looking at his car, and his car is it looks like this bird hates him. Like he just this car is covered in like falcon shit from
Fucking
from.
shit.
I mean, that he like legit can't see out of his front window because there's so much bird shit on his car. I was like mesmerized by the amount of copious amounts of bird shit. I'm like,
We
God
need
damn,
pictures, bro.
I
You
want
need
to
to
see. Maybe I can
you
turn
need to
this
walk
around.
Harvey
Hold on, let me see if I can just
after
turn
this
this
show.
around.
Yes. Ooh, I've never seen the
Uh,
garage here. Yeah,
you
I mean,
can't. You
we're not
can't.
going to see through that window.
No. Okay. I will. I'll try and get some photos for next time. But maybe I can take it with my camera and then show it to you on the screen.
Excuse me.
Hold
Oh
hold
God.
on. I mean, dude, this is like the most bird shit I've ever seen on a car
We're
ever
going
in
to
my
need a
life.
post show like
Oh yeah,
posting
I
of
can get
this.
it. I can get it from here. Hold on. Yeah, totally zoomed in. Hold on. It's actually the back window now that I zoomed in. But dude, I hope you can see this from camera to camera. Can you like see that?
Yes. Oh my
Oh my
God.
god,
That
dude!
actually
Like,
it actually looks like a sticker, like 'cause it's almost symmetrical. Like it's some
dude. I
shitty metal
mean,
band sticker.
this is definitely yeah, like some old like someone
Right.
threw paint splatter on the wall. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, I've never seen that much poop, and that's like
I
from
love
overnight.
I
So it's
love
like
how it like goes across, like he moved over as
I
he was
feel like the
shitting.
bird. Yeah, I feel like the bird landed on his car and just like dumped. So I had to share that with you this morning.
Well, you've been throwing all your old Chipotle out in the street, right? So that probably doesn't help.
Oh, dude, we don't talk about Chipotle here at the Curland household. That is like blasphemy. Okay,
Yeah, I'd
my
imagine.
my wife eats Chipotle about as much as she eats Taco Bell, which is zero. And if I ever have either of those things in my hand, I better be drunk because that's the only excuse for it, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
or out of
yeah.
town. But
Yeah, well, and the last time we actually did eat Taco Bell drunk, both of us, late night, couple of months ago, and
mhm.
it was a swift reminder of, our
It is.
our my toilet was similar to my neighbor's car. So
I have a similar relationship with mall Chinese food. Every couple of years, I just need to have it and then like relearn why it's not a good idea. Just
do
have to have it.
you? Is it because like you're walking through the food? Wait, you still go to malls first and foremost? Question mark.
No,
Like,
no, I
so you'll
don't.
go? Do you
So
go specifically for like
I
Szechuan King or whatever?
it like if I'm in one for whatever reason, I might. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like that would be my go-to
Right.
for
So
sure.
they'll be like, "Hey, honey
Like,
walnut chicken, honey walnut
yep,
shrimp.
hit me
You
up with
want
the
one on a
orange
little
chicken.
toothpick?" And
Yep,
you take one, and you're like,
the two entree combo.
"Oh yeah." And then you get the fucking lo mein that looks like angel hair
Hmm.
pasta
And
soaked in
then you get on a
soy
flight
sauce.
home from Vegas and you're feeling good.
That dude, I learned that lesson a long time ago when we first started traveling. Because you travel a good amount for your work, right? Or at least you
Um,
have in your
well,
career, right?
yeah, I have. I'm actually making my first trip to Vegas next week since the pandemic. So it's been 3 years
Oh
since
wow,
I did that
nice.
trip. But yeah, um, yeah,
That's
that decent
exciting.
amount. Not as much as you. I know how much you have
Oh,
traveled.
dude, I was a road warrior,
You
but
were
dude, I used so similarly like when I first started traveling, I just like grab something at the airport and eat it, and it would be like some grease. I'd be hungover and I'd be like, "Ugh, I don't feel good. Let me get a
right.
burger in me," and I'd grab a burger, or like I'd get like a Wendy's chili. Not good pre-flight. not, not good pre-flight. But I have to say, like I've never. I have like a phobia of public restrooms, and like on the like list of worst public restrooms there could possibly be is the top
Is
of
the
that list
bathroom?
is an
It's the
airplane bathroom.
airplane.
And so, dude, I went to Australia for Christmas like 6 years ago, and it was it was like I think the flight left at
It's
like
like a 20-hour flight, right?
yeah, it's like a 16-hour flight, and
Yeah.
so I think we left at I don't know what time we left, but whatever time you sleep for 8 hours and you're
If
still
you're
on the
lucky.
fucking.
Yeah.
I did. I went like I think we left at like 6 o'clock at night. I watched a movie. They served you dinner in every class on whatever flight to internationally, and then I slept and I woke up and I'm the first thing in the morning kind of guy, and I'm like, oh man, this is happening. Like there is no fucking way this isn't happening. And
Mm.
thankfully on this flight, it was like one of those huge jumbo jets, you know, and it had like 17 bathrooms and like 10 people to a row and whatever. And I was like, okay, like it wasn't the worst
Yeah.
thing that ever happened to me, but not recently, maybe in the last couple of years, I had one of these, you know, all nighter things at partying, had to catch an early morning flight, and it finally caught up to me, and I was like in the front of American
Ooh.
in the restroom and just like hovering, praying like that my knees didn't give out and my fucking hamstrings and quads I'd done enough squats that week to like hover myself long
Sustain
enough
this.
to
Yeah.
get through this like ruptured you know,
Colon.
spleen that was coming out of me. Exactly. Oh man, but I will tell you the worst public bathroom story ever. This is a good one. I know we're just kind of riffing today,
We
right?
don't have
But
any sports to talk about really, so this is fine.
no. So dude, remember when I used to work in Long Island and I lived in Norwalk and I had to take the
Yeah.
Bridgeport Port Jeff
Yeah,
ferry to
you
work?
were a maniac with that. Yep.
That was another fucking road warrior. So for those of you that don't know, which is probably all of you, I used to live in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I used to work in Bohemia, New York, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes by ferry, by car, ferried car, or 2 hours and 15 minutes by car, depending on traffic. It's an hour and 45 with no traffic, but saying there's no traffic on the LIE is like
Is yeah.
and 95, like
At 95.
those just doesn't exist.
No.
So it was either sit in traffic and be miserable for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, or drive with no traffic, hit the ferry, take the ferry across and drive with no traffic for another like half hour. So it was like
I do the same,
45.
by the way. That LIE commute is nightmare.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know, maybe on a Friday night at the end of the night, if
Oh,
I was
sure.
going home for the weekend, or if it was a day like I was going to stop meet you for an Islanders game on the way home or something,
Hell yeah.
sure. But you had to take this ferry, and it's one of these car loading ferries, so you could like drive your car on, which I didn't do because it costs way more to drive your car on. So I had a car, I had my car, and I had a company car waiting for me in Port Jeff. Anyway, long story short, and I only did this for about a year because it was fucking miserable, and I had Fridays off, so I only worked 4 days a week when I did this. Prefacing, but these were old ferries. I don't know what year they were
Right.
built in, but they weren't like state of the art. You know, they're fucking crossing the Long Island Sound from
It's
Bridgeport to Port Jefferson.
an American infrastructure, baby. Hell yeah.
Right. So these things are probably from, if I had to guess, the 70s. Like,
Mhm.
so the bathrooms look like your elementary school bathroom with like the fucking taupe colored dividers that you could see through the cracks and, you know, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the ferry and I'm riding this thing every day, and you could get seasick. And this luckily wasn't a seasick day, right? But I had eaten something at lunch that I don't know. It was coming out. It was not waiting, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I go to use, and there's only one bathroom for men and one for women, but they're huge bathrooms, right? So I go to get into the bathroom, and the fucking maintenance guy is in there with a bucket and a mop, and there's probably like 6 inches of water on the floor, and he's like bathroom's out of order, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like,
So's my stomach.
so so I walk and sit down. I was like how long you think? He's like, I don't know, man. And he's like, fuck you, dude, I'm mopping up like piss
Yeah.
water because, you know, one of the toilets had overflowed or something, right? So he's like, I
Can
don't
you take a
care.
smoke break, man?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like,
just
get out of
like
here, right? So I'm like, all right, maybe this will calm down. I go sit down. I'm like, you know, doing some yoga, breathing exercises, and then finally I get up and I'm like, this is happening. So I go
oh,
back in and I'm like, I just walk in and he's like, this this bathroom's out of order. Do you see what's all over the ground? I said, you're gonna see something else all over the ground if you don't let me in the bathroom real quick. And he was like, ugh. He didn't know what to do with that. So then
I would know what to do. I would leave. Yes.
I think he
I,
did. I think he left it, but I'm like in the restroom. You know, I'm wearing my work clothes, so I have like nice shoes on and like nice pants on, and I'm using the restroom and
this, of
trying
course,
not to.
on the way to work.
No, this was on the way home,
Oh,
thankfully. But like, I'm trying not to get my pants wet from sitting in like the inches of water on the floor and not ruin my
mm,
shoes. But I didn't care because it was
the water, quote unquote.
yes, sure, it was not more than just water. So that was probably the worst time I ever had to use a public restroom.
Great moments in poop history, everyone. I think that's It's from Drew McGarry's mailbag. I don't know if I have like a catastrophic poops on the road story for you. I'll think about that.
I have someone else's. I got more. Let's just keep going. So, dude, this is a great one. So, we do work with a pretty renowned national convenience store client. I'm not going to name names because I don't want if the three people that are listening are related to this guy, right? I don't want
It's Circle K. I'm kidding. I don't.
It is. You nailed it. So
holy shit.
so we go to meet with them in Arizona. There's this big meeting. They like had just brought in all these like consultants to like reorganize their facilities and maintenance department, blah 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 blah. And we're like in this basically line of interviewed companies to go in and pitch them on like what we can bring to the table and how we can save them money and yada yada yada. And they had gone through this whole like extensive like RFP with God knows how many people, and then so they had hired. I want to say they had hired Deloitte and they had these German people from Deloitte in the room, you know, critiquing and breaking down our RFPs and our answers and. And so the guy that was the head of, you could tell this was like a total like power struggle. Like Deloitte's in there, and this guy, he's the head. I don't remember his name, but he had to be like 400 pounds, right? Like he was like, he couldn't tuck his shirt in. He had like, you know, the waistband on his pants, and like, you know, you could tell he was a shorter guy that was like more round than tall, and so right before we're sitting in the lobby, right? And it's like this big conference room. This is a poorly designed office space, right? So there's the big conference room. It's a huge conference room. There's this like lobby with the secretary and this like waiting area. And then there's one, you know, unisex, like single use bathroom in the fucking lobby. So we're waiting. This guy leaves whoever, like, you know, the meeting before us exits, and this guy beeline, and I don't know who this guy was at the time, right? It's just some big guy beelines it for the bathroom. And then we get ushered into this room, and like there's probably like 10 of them, which note to anyone that's listening that's doing business meetings, like never show up with that many people. It's fucking dumb.
No, it sucks.
It's such a stupid, it's just so, when you show up with 10 people, you guys are trying to overcompensate for something, and it just looks dumb.
And it's like 10 minutes of intros. It's
dude. So we did 10 minutes. We did the whole round the table intros, and then they started firing off the fucking questions. And anyway, this guy comes out late. Like the meeting starts late because this guy who was the director couldn't, like, you know, he had to go, and he comes out and he's like disheveled. He's like covered in sweat, like sweating through his, like, you know, triple XL button down, and like just like pants on, like shirt untucked. His hair's all messed up. You could tell, like, it was like who does number 2 work for? He was like getting Tom Arnold screaming in his ear. And he comes in, and then on top of all that, dude, so we're sitting there like trying to act like we don't know that, because we all saw him, like like there was 5 people from my team. We all saw him go in there, and we're like, he sits down, and he's like, hey guys, sorry. But you know, the worst part about it was this is the part I didn't understand. On top of all that, after making us wait, taking a massive shit, and like that he was sweating profusely, he comes in and then proceeds to be the biggest asshole to all of us. Like, it wasn't like he was interviewing us to like try and find out if we were a good fit for him. He was like trying to like belittle us. What I think in retrospect is to like prove to Deloitte that, like, you know, he was really good at his job. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it was dumb. It was so dumb. And I'll never forget this. I can't remember his fucking, actually I do remember his name. I will leave him nameless.
So did you win the account? Probably not.
No, I didn't win the account, but I won the ability to tell the story to the audience today.
Oh, that's great. I was expecting a little more fecal matter involved, but hey, that's fine.
I'm sure there was fecal matter. I wasn't going in and checking out. No, you want another great story?
Let's keep them going.
So my first job ever, I'm at TMC marketing in Norwalk, Connecticut. Second job ever. And I'm my first sales job, and I'm like a telemarketer. I'm fucking pounding the phones. I hated it. It was like right after 9/11, so it's probably 2002. They
Yeah.
would just start, like, companies were just starting to like hire again, you know. And I got put in this call center, and we were like selling trade show like attendance packages for technology trade shows. And we had this boss, and he was like this fucking stoner, and he was cool, but he was like, I mean, I'm glad he didn't work for me because he was just whatever. But he knew,
Yeah.
like, the company was a joke, and like everyone kind of knew it was a joke. They were more known for their industry magazine, so it was more of a publishing company. But then they rolled it into like making conferences out of it. So this guy was our boss, and he was just like, it was me and Ryder, R.I.P. Ryder, and so
Yeah.
I got him.
All
I
right.
got him the job there, and we were just like, we were
I
supposed to
remember this,
call.
by the way. I remember when you
Yeah,
were
dude,
there.
we were like in this like random nook of like Connecticut that no one knew existed, but was right off the post road in Norwalk. I
Right.
mean, so we'd go to work, and we were supposed to call these people and try and sell them trade show attendance packages, and it's like, it was so dumb, dude. It was like no one was spending any money at the time.
It's a
Everyone was
really
like,
demeaning job too. Is like cold calling
dude,
people.
hey,
It's the
Mr.
worst.
Smith, this is Michael
Yeah.
Curlin with TFC
Yeah.
Marketing.
It's like Clang. No.
Oh, dude, yeah, hang up,
Like,
hang up. But it taught me
uh-huh.
like to not take rejection too personally.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
but we had this guy. His name was Steve Clytus, and he had like the worst lips. So he'd be like, hey, it's Steve Clytus, and he was. I mean, we were entry level guys, me and Ryder, right? We were probably like 23 years old at the time, 22, 23. This guy was like maybe 60. And he was just like little turtle. Like, he was small and had like bad, he definitely had a lazy eye, had like bad, like dandruff. Like, there wasn't a lot going for Steve. And I don't know. I don't know what's happened to Steve. Probably not around either, if I had to guess. But one day Steve goes and takes a bathroom break, and he, takes a dump in the bathroom.
Take your time.
He fucking got up, right? He got up. I wasn't in there, but I'm imagining, right? He gets up and he goes to wipe, and I don't know, gets like the toilet paper, and somehow, like, I don't know if he like his pants were like caught up or something, but he falls over on the toilet paper, dude, with the shit on it, and gets shit
With the shit on it.
all over his business like shirt. He gets shit like all the way down his back, dude. And he comes out and he's like, got shit on his shirt.
Wait. He didn't like notice this.
I don't remember if he noticed, but like Ryder was definitely like, yo, Steve, you got some shit on your shirt. And then at that point, he was like,
Shit on your
oh my God.
Shit on your shirt.
And then, so Bruce Hirsch was our boss, and he comes in and he was like, hey, Steve, like, go home and take the rest of the day off. Like, clean yourself up. I don't know how it happened. I just imagine him like, just imagine him on like the bottom of like the nasty like bathroom floor, like rushing around in his.
Do you think he like banana peeled it in the bathroom? That's what, and like landed on his back.
Yes. I think he was like wiping, and like maybe one of his foot came out from under him, and he like ate it, and he fucking was on the floor trying to get up with his pants around his ankles, and he's like got his shit paper like stuck to him. He's trying to peel it off, and he probably like smeared it down his shirt. I don't know, dude. I don't know how it happened, man.
This is why we have to ban offices. Working from home is not enough. We must stamp them out. Damn it! Oh my God, that's the stuff I miss. I've been working from home since 2007. Man,
yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't miss that, actually. I don't miss any of that.
No. Do you miss it at all though? Because I think that's I know,
at
like you said, we don't have a lot of
years.
sports, right? Yeah.
At certain time of years, you miss the like the holiday parties, and like because I'm regional. I'm like the only person within like 1,000 miles that works for my company. So
where's your corporate office? Miami, right?
Miami, yeah.
Nice.
Or Coral Gables, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever given consideration of relocating down that way?
Yeah, we've considered it. I don't think we are, though.
We actually, funny enough, are talking about possibly relocating to the Miami area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the taxes, and all that.
Yeah, the taxes are a big reason for that thought process. So
I
You
mean,
know
and
where
Miami's incredible to
it
visit,
is.
obviously, and it's got some decent neighborhoods. It's quite a place, though. I don't know. I'm not really a Florida guy,
Yeah,
but
so
I cannot stand humidity, by the way. So like I'd be
but you live
miserable.
in Connecticut, so it's such
It's
a
I
fucking
yeah.
stupid thing for you to say. Like,
I know.
if you don't
I
like
should
humidity,
I should be in the desert. I'm late.
right?
I'm late.
So that's why I left, dude. I hated the humidity
Yeah.
and I hated the snow, the winter, the like
Yeah.
fucking really bad winters. But
Although we
so
don't
we've been,
really get those anymore.
I know,
Like
right?
last
And
couple of years.
we're starting to get them. So
Yeah,
I've
right.
been out here for 9.5 years and no humidity. Like it was 74% humidity the other day, which it isn't like for you that you probably would barely recognize it. It's
Right.
not humid, but it's not
Right.
considered like humid. But out here, I was like, God damn it, like it is humid, and I'm like, well, I wonder what the humidity is today. It was 74, and I'm like, I'm such a pussy. Like
Yeah,
this
you
shit.
are.
This shit feels like
Well,
I felt like I was under a wet blanket.
I mean, like, don't you guys get June gloom though around this time of year?
Hmm. So it's gone from so every 5 years we get like the quote unquote El Nino,
Right.
and it's been this year. So you get rain. You get a shit ton of rain during the
Hmm.
winter, and we have gotten rain every
That's
week.
good though.
Every It's good for California in general. It's
Yeah.
not good for my mentals, and it's not
Right.
why I moved here. And
Right.
so it's been rain every day, every week since January. Like maybe 1 week off, and usually like a normal winter starts in probably December and ends in like end of March, and that winter will be like low 60s.
Winter. Yeah.
Right, low 60s, a lot of gray, but you'll get a week or two of like 70 with some sunshine that'll break through and like tie you over. We haven't had any of that this year. And so it used to be June gloom, to your point, but now it's elongated to May gray. So you get May gray to June gloom.
May
So
gray.
literally
That
the
works.
month of May, and I know this sounds asinine to most people, but it's been like 65 and overcast every day since like January 1st with
So good.
rain. Yeah, so
I'm kidding.
it's not been very
It's
nice to
literally
live
what we
here.
have right now, by the way.
Yeah, me
But
too. 65
it's been
and
nice up here though
gray.
lately. Real nice.
That's what I heard. You guys have gotten way more nice days than we have. So
Real
real
nice.
nice, Clark.
Real nice. Yeah.
You want to talk some baseball? 30 minutes in?
All right.
Yeah.
What you got?
So, well, started pitching for the New York Metropolitans.
Seems to be
Looks like
getting
it's
on
starting
track.
to get on track. Even Verlander last night. I mean, I think that's his third first batter home run he's given up
Mm,
in like 5 starts for the Mets. But that is
yeah, I mean,
the only run he gave up in 6 innings yesterday.
that's
I
what
think
George Springer does, by the way. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
he's way up on
Verlander.
the career list, right?
I wish Verlander would stop grooving fastballs to the leadoff guy because that definitely is the second, and I think it might be the
They're
third.
jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
so
no,
he's got to
he settled
adjust.
down. He battled last night.
Yeah, he did.
That sixth inning where Buck left him in. I guess the plan is to give him an extra day of rest, so they're not concerned about that.
He threw 117 pitches. I mean, he is a workhorse. That's what he does. So he's 2 years removed from Tommy John. If we're gonna go anywhere in this fucking season into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs, he's got to throw 120
Yeah,
pitches.
and him and Max has been absolutely great last 3 or 4 starts. So
He has. He's 3 starts now. 1 run, averaging 6 or 7 innings and 1 run for his last 3 starts. So, and they're all wins.
and
The only one that was
Carrasco has had a couple of good starts.
2 good starts in a row.
McGill is a
Senga,
mess, and Senga is nasty.
Senga's
He's just got
starting
to
to turn
work
it
on
on.
his durability, right, or his pitch counts. But all right,
He threw
go
seven
ahead.
innings of one hit ball against the Phillies. So we swept the Phillies too, buddy. That's pretty
We
nice.
did. Thank you, Mark Hanna, who
Thank you,
had the
Mark
only
Hanna.
good week. In terms of bats, like Colorado, they had some fun, but they're still not really hitting at home overall. Okay, so let's talk about the bad last night. I probably should have trusted my instinct and turned it off after they got first and third with Nimmo, Lindor, and McNeil coming up, and it was pop out, strike out, pop out. And that was it. Chris Bassett was on a mission last night to say something, and he did.
Yeah.
He was really good. I was surprised they pulled him, but they have their reasons. But yeah, it didn't matter. Canna's hot, and that's about it. Even the kids are cooling off.
Yep.
What do you?
I don't know, man. I've been on my Mets hiatus. I will watch the condensed game. I feel like every time, literally, I've turned the game on in the last few weeks, they're either down because they can't help themselves for giving up first inning runs, and they can't score in the first inning. So it's like watching an Islanders game. They're down 1-0, 2-0 by the time I turn the fucking game on, and I just don't have the chutzpah to sit through it, right? So from your point of view, when you're like, I should turn it off when I feel like it, that's when I turn it off.
Yeah.
So I've been turning it off, or not even turning on. And I'll tell you, the last time I did turn it on, to watch, I've been turning on a little bit more recently. And the last time I turned it on to watch was that Colorado game when we had just like taken the lead back, and we brought Brigham in, and then he gives up fucking 3 runs, and we're back down 10-9, and I'm like, all right, shut it off. So every time I turn it on, I seem to catch it right at the moment.
You're
where the jinx.
You're the mush. You've had that talent over the years, actually. We've had to shut you down, and they've gone on runs. So
yeah. I agree. I know this, man. I've been when I don't watch and we get a W, I'll go back and watch the condensed game, and I'm like, there we go. That was better. I don't want to turn this on. Like literally yesterday, turned it on 1-0, and I was like, this is not good. Shut it down.
All right. Well, so if you're not watching them too much and you're kind of either seeing the highlights or just looking at the numbers, I can tell you that I'm. It's going to take a lot for me to ever get on the Buck Must Go wagon. I think he's doing fine, especially with the bullpen hand he's been dealt. I think all those guys back there have done an admirable job considering, except for maybe like the last 2 guys in the bullpen. But those guys are always interchangeable. Like everybody from like Brigham up has had a pretty good year this year so far. They could be a lot worse than they have.
Yeah, I think you do a good segue here. Like I have no space. I'd rather watch and be the mush and get upset than go on Mets Twitter, because and what I realized about Mets Twitter is it's a very toxic place, and everyone wants to fire Buck, and it's like, come on, man. Like this guy is one of the best managers of our generation. He knows the game inside and out. He knows how to manage the bullpen. The team is off to a really bad start, and we've also dealt with some catastrophic injuries that were just starting to get healthy.
2 games over 500. Is it really that bad?
No, it's just
they're in a playoff spot right now.
It's just different from where we were last year, because everything was fucking roses last year.
The expectations were high, but I was thinking about this, and this like adds to your point. Last year we kicked ass out of the gate, right? Like first place all year, and then faded.
Yep.
And you called it early last year, like August. You're like, these guys are tired.
Yep.
Like they're just dragging, and we saw it. Like they kind of broke down September and October, and so if this year we start out slow and then pick it up, fucking sign me up, man.
Yep.
And I think, and by the way, I don't want to get conspiratorial, but you can make the conspiracy that maybe some of the Max and JV injuries were a little more minor than they were made out to be, and they were just kind of saving the gas, or saving the the wear on the tires for this year. I don't know.
I don't see why not. I don't think I'm watching more poop now. No, she's washing it now. She just realized how much poop was on her car, and she's washing it, so it's kind of hilarious. But
by the way, I forgot to ask, why don't they park? Are there too many cars? Why is he on the street?
It's California. Everyone parks. No one. Their garage is like storage. No one uses their
Yeah,
garage to park unless you
fair.
have like a super nice car. But even on my street, like the Porsches are outside, the fucking McLarens are
Really?
outside. Yeah, dude. No one park.
I
I
would
mean,
not leave a
some
McLaren on the street, man. Wow.
dude. I got my neighbor has a McLaren and he parks it in his driveway sometimes, and I'm like, okay, yes, yes. So
Yo,
I don't.
Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie are going to show up on that bitch. Boom, 60 seconds. I actually never watched that movie. It looked horrible.
It was good. I
It
mean,
was?
if you knew what you're, if you thought it was going to win the Academy Award, no.
All
But if
right.
you like fucking awesome cars and
Okay.
people driving fast and like, you know,
Furiously.
stealing cars and yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It
Okay.
wasn't terrible. I mean, yeah, I also
I take
love
it back.
Fast. I've seen every Fast and the Furious, and I'm probably going to go see 10 in the theater. So
Yeah. I guess every Nick Cage movie looks kind of bad from the outside.
they didn't
So
always, but then he hit that wall. Have you ever seen that last movie he came out with, like the massive weight of incredible talent or
I
whatever?
meant to. I meant to.
That
I,
was a good movie.
it was
That was
good.
an
Okay.
actually an awesome movie. Yes,
I might check it out today then if I'm
you
bored.
you will, because it's a he plays himself in the movie
Hmm.
and and himself like where he is like they totally make fun of him like
Right.
I'll take any
He's in on
part.
the joke, right?
Yeah, I'll take any part because I'm broke and I spent all my money and I need to keep working so I can make more money. Like the real reason why he makes so many movies is just like I don't
Sure.
care. I just need to make a million movies because I'm fucking broke. I have like
Bruce
seven.
Willis too, right? Until he had to retire.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
right.
Seriously,
He was like just flying out to Romania to film like 6 action movies in 6 weeks.
going directly
Any
to Netflix.
right.
Right,
Or bootleg DVDs. But
right.
I forgot what we were
Well,
talking about. But
we were
who
talking
cares?
about we were talking about the Buck hate, and
I
I
need a
got
refill.
do
Go
it.
ahead.
The Buck
Yeah, go
hate,
ahead on the buck.
the Buck hate is real, and I feel like I don't want to sound like the old grumpy old white Mets fan, but like all the kids on Twitter that are like doing this, I gotta remind myself they're like probably in their mid 20s, right to late 20s, like doing this Twitter
Yeah,
thing
yeah, probably.
and that I'm following, and they all want to be armchair manager. Like, how can you not have Vientos in the lineup? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, shut up, shut up. Like, okay, Daniel Vogelbach has been not great, but if you want to get to the postseason and you want to get through 162 games, which is fucking long, I would much rather give this guy as much rope as you can because if he starts mashing righties and putting the ball over the wall and getting on, I mean, he's still getting on base, but if he starts getting the batted ball average in play up and he starts hitting these balls a little bit further over the wall or in the gap, you got yourself a really good power hitter. Last year was very important. And we don't have, there's no one else on the team that has that. So everyone's like,
He
run Vientos out there and play him against lefties and righties. It's like the
I
kid,
agree with him with that.
yeah,
Um, Vogelback has 6 extra base hits this year.
yeah.
He's fighting something. I don't know what it is. So I would plan his ass on the bench for a little bit.
But then if
I
you're going to
hope they
plant him
do.
on the bench, then why? I mean, he brings nothing
If
other
no
than,
no to see if Vientos can take the job. If he can, then yeah, you're right. He unfortunately out of say like Escobar, Canna, and Vogie in terms of any kind of vet that might be in trouble this year. I think it's Vogie.
yeah,
Because you can also upgrade his position in around the deadline, and that's what they did last year when they brought him in. But like two
right.
home runs and 4 doubles on June 3rd is not great. He's under 100 OPS plus at this point. You're right. He takes a lot of walks, but like he needs to swing the bat if he's going to be DH. Swing the bat, dude.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not saying get rid of him right now, but like they started Vientos against the righty last night, and I think you're going to see more of that.
Okay. Well, I will defer to you on that because
Well, no,
uh,
and by the way, I'll be fair. I'm gonna like the kids are cool enough. Beatty's down. Um, Alvarez had an insane road trip and an insane May, but like he's been kind of scuffling so far in June too. Again, very small sample sizes, so we all gotta like. I think the larger point you're making, I totally agree with. Everybody, relax.
Right.
Everybody
It's
relax. But
it's June 3rd.
I do have my eye on Vogie.
We're 60 days away from the trade deadline, and we have made it this far. Like you said, 2 games over 500. I think we're only, what, 6 games out of first place. We're in the
Oh man,
playoffs.
like
If they
3.5.
3.5 out of first place, like the Braves are scuffling.
Yeah,
I think they just lost 2 out of 3 to the A's.
right.
We
Which
just
is really hard to do.
really hard to do. So the Braves aren't as tough as everyone makes them out to be. They look tough because we haven't played great, but if we
We
play,
never have. Yeah.
yeah, if we start playing like we are capable and our pitching starts coming around, and I do think we're going to make some deals at the deadline, I think we can catch the Braves easily, like the Braves caught us last year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
are the
there's no
Braves
reason
going
they
to turn
can't.
it on and get hot? It's possible, but it's possible that they don't.
I
Same
know.
thing.
Well,
Could be roles
Lindor's
reversed,
hitting
like you said.
217. Pete's hitting
That
230. Like
stuff's
this
got to
offense can
change,
be a
right?
lot better. McNeil's hitting third, which I'm kind of okay with in a vacuum, but he's hitting for no power this year, man.
Right.
Speaking of, like, kind of like Vogie. So yeah.
Right.
But that's the good news. Like, they can get better, and I think they
Right.
will.
Oh, I mean, historically, these guys have all. I mean, and on top of hitting 230, Pete's still leading the league
Oh,
in
I
home
know. I
runs.
mean, I'm cherry picking that a bit, but
Right.
Pete's been
And
our MVP.
yeah, and
Um,
Lindor for hitting 217 is like,
he's
what's
such a
his
weird
OPS
player.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm checking. Like, we had this last year though. Same thing. I got on him in June. Remember that? And then he
Yep.
was MVP level for the rest of the year. So
I also think, I'm going to say this. New York is a miserable place to play
yeah,
baseball in
it really
April and
is,
May.
dude.
Like,
Because like, we're not even that bad, but look at us. We're
right,
maniacs.
right,
We're studying every little thing.
right, but May and April and May, it's cold. We have an older pitching staff,
Yeah.
and it takes a while to get going. I'm not
And
saying like
it's not a great park to hit in, by the way.
no. So I think it's June 3rd. We're what 57 days away from the trade deadline, right? So it's now July 31st these
Yes.
days, right?
Yeah.
We are going to get Quintana back before that. See what we got in him. That'll get McGill back down to AAA. Him and Peterson can work out their kinks in AAA with Lucchesi. So we got 3 guys that are in AAA if anything happens, and that should be our rotation for the rest of the year. And we'll see. We can, the easiest thing every year to pick up at the deadline is bullpen arms.
Yes.
You can go out and
Although not last year apparently, but
I think Epler hopefully softens his stance. I'm sure, but I also think if I'm any other team, the Mets are super top heavy from their prospects. So I'm asking last year for Vientos Alvarez, Maurizio, or Beatty, right? And Bailey's probably like, I'm not giving you that for Michael Givens. Like,
yeah,
go fuck
teams are
yourself.
going to ask for like Parada.
Right.
I don't
So
know if you do it. He's very
no,
highly rated, but for like Alex Diaz,
I don't know, man. Like,
I don't like trading for relievers, so I'm kind of with you.
I don't mind trading for relievers if they're impactful relievers. But if you need some extra guys in the bullpen that are having a good year, like you can pick up a guy
Yeah,
that doesn't cost your top prospect.
right.
They're a little bit better than Michael Givens, right? But you can pick up a
Like an
guy,
Addison Reed, great move back in
right?
the day.
Great
One of
move, yeah,
Sandy's best.
yeah. And I think a team like Kansas City, who is not playing well, that probably has a couple of relievers that they'd part with to get rid of the salary, kind of a salary dump type move. We'll be able to make some moves, dude. And I'm not worried about that.
I
And if
think so.
we need to pick up another DH, and I think that's probably when Vogelback will run his course, right?
Yeah,
If he doesn't hit by the trade deadline, they will replace him. But I think he's going to have until the trade deadline to kind of figure it out,
he's
or
hitting
right before.
215 with a 300 slugging percentage.
Right.
It's
It's
bad.
update. So the neighbor is cleaning the car, and then the neighbor next door to her just came over, and they're actually talking about how much shit is on their car and on
Making
their
general
driveway.
motions.
Yeah, no, they just made the like. What do you think the bird is like flying over your car and pooping? Like I can read the lips here. It's amazing. So,
I
but yeah,
really
man,
hope it's illegal to shoot falcons in California. I hope. because
Definitely. It's
good.
illegal to shoot any birds of prey, I believe.
Yeah,
They're all
I hope
protected, but
so, except in
yeah,
Texas, of course. But
right. But they
shoot
also eat
everything.
falcons. They eat
Right.
falcons in Texas.
They
So,
do. I'm going there
um,
later this month. I can't wait.
where are you going?
Austin for like almost a week. It's gonna
Oh,
be
let's see,
great.
bro Keefe.
And Sis Keefe.
Oh, that's right. Hillary moved
Hillary
there.
lives there too.
That's right. She left the LA area now. Is down in
Yeah.
Austin.
Um,
Awesome. That's
same
cool,
year
man.
John did.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward. By the way, yeah, Lindor is officially under league average OPS wise.
Okay, well,
Ouch.
let's turn it around, guys. We got plenty of games left, right? We're only
We
like
do.
60 games in. We got 100 games left. You know, I don't, or maybe 90 games left. Whatever it is, we're doing all right.
We're doing all
we
right.
got
The schedule is I almost said mad tough. Dude, stop. It's not the 90s. The schedule is really tough in June. I don't know if you've looked at it.
I haven't, but
They're going to Atlanta, then Pittsburgh, but then like Yankees, Astros, I think Phillies again. It's gonna be a party. Thank you, Jenny.
iron sharpens iron, as they say. What are we drinking here?
It
Sip
does.
of sunshine.
I actually prefer the Mets to play good teams. I mean, you saw what happened to Detroit in Detroit and things of that
And
nature.
Cincinnati.
Yep.
Yeah, but then we went to Tampa and took it to Tampa. So
We did.
it just matters. It just matters if you can step up to the competition. I don't like when we play down to our competition, but
Yeah.
step it up. But I
And
think we got time. It's on our side, as Lou would say. We've got some guys that could definitely room for improvement. I don't think they're going to get much worse than they're at, and we're already playing where we're at. So
it's
we
always good
can.
to sweep the Phils. Let's not let that glide by. Who are in a lot worse shape than we are, but I've learned my lesson. They'll be around.
Yep.
They always are.
Yep.
And by the way, Lou doesn't say anything.
Still.
We've heard zero from that stupid team, so I don't want to talk about that stupid team.
Well,
Zero.
what do you feel? What do you feel? You think?
The only thing I thought of is that I remember that Snow and Waite were fired at around this time of the year, because I was like out in Asia, and I remember like when I was out there, and I found out like after like hitting the clubs in Bali at like 4 a.m. and I was like looking at my phone, I was like, Snow is gone.
Oh my goodness.
And
well,
I jumped into the Indian Ocean. It was great.
That's awesome. I think maybe he's just waiting for the Stanley Cup Finals to get over. Who knows?
I guess.
Who knows?
He didn't hire his buddy Kyle.
No, he didn't. He went to Pittsburgh. So,
which seems like not a good development, but hopefully he screws it up. Hopefully he's overrated.
Probably both those things. So we'll see what happens. I'm not overly worried about the Islanders. I don't think there's going to be any major moves. I think
it's gonna be a boring off season. We're not gonna have much to talk about.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that in another episode, fully dedicated.
Did the Rangers actually hire a coach? I was hearing it was Laviolette, and then it wasn't.
They haven't hired a coach yet, but that he's in the running. I still, you know what though? Let's talk about that. What a shitty franchise. Gallant was a really good coach the last 2 years.
I thought that was a huge mistake.
It was a huge mistake. And like, he handled the media well. He handled his players well. He did well there. He did well in Vegas, and he got a raw deal there. Like, this guy,
he does wear out his welcome.
I mean, maybe he's an asshole. Maybe that's the problem, is that he's just
he's kind of like the Mike Keenan, or speaking of Laviolette, that's the rumor about him. Actually, Mike Keenan told me that personally once. He did not like Peter.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you meet Mike Keenan? Was this at Trottier's house?
No,
you guys all playing the skin flutes together?
This was. What did you say?
So were you guys all playing the skin flutes together?
Yes, it was. Wednesday night is flute night with the boys. That should be our title: Flute Night with the Boys. I don't know why that's even funny. I'm 45 years old. What was I going to say? So NBC Sports like they kind of shut down, but their studios used to be here, like in Stamford, Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
Like actually down by the Cove where I used to live, like back in the day, like
Uh-huh.
across the street. And it's like anyway, he was at fucking Bradford. He was just at the bar at Bradford's one day after work, and I was there, and I looked over, and he's just like having a meal at the bar, and I'm like, I think that's Mike Keenan. So I said hello, and we actually talked hockey for a bit.
Nice.
This was back when Charles Wong still owned the Islanders, and they didn't have a home yet and all that. And he's like the league hates the ownership, but the league will never let them leave. And that was actually kind of reassuring at that
Yeah.
time. And then and I wish I remembered the specifics better, but he was talking a lot of shit about Laviolette. They did
I
not
mean,
get
it
along.
seemed
Apparently, he
that
was an
way.
assistant under Keenan at some point. We would have to look that up. But yeah,
Yeah.
he had
It
strong
seems that way
feelings.
because if you remember, he came in when we hired him from, like, I want to say from Providence, right? Wasn't he like the Bruins
Yeah,
minor
he
league?
was. Yep.
And so we hired him from Providence, and or was that Scott Gordon? Maybe they both were. I don't know,
Yeah, no,
but
yeah, no.
Lavi,
they both were minor league. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
So
that's how the Islanders did shit back then.
so we hired Laviolette. He came in, that was the year that we influxed all that money to get Yashin
Yeah,
and all those guys, right? And so we brought Laviolette in, and he took us to the playoffs for the first time in like 10, 15 years. And then he was like fired after like year two, and it
yeah.
never made sense, right? And
It
then
was. I've heard it was a locker room thing, and it was sort of his fault, but it was sort of. I hate to say it because of, like, we all liked this guy at the time, but I heard like Michael Pekka was driving some like clicky shit in the locker room too. It was like a Pekka like Yashin divide or something.
really,
I don't know. Yeah, but like he obviously Laviolette didn't have control of the situation, or Wong had a huge ego. It's just a bunch of egos. Who knows with that stuff? But
right?
it was a bad move. They brought in
It was
Steve
definitely
Sterling.
bad.
That guy sucked.
He
Sorry,
sucked,
Steve.
and then what happened after him? Who, I can't remember. Like, when did Ted
Ted
the
Nolan
fucking
was after Sterling, so he was like an
and he got
actual.
another raw deal.
He did too, because they tried to like spend for a year. Remember that they like the
Yeah.
Mike Comrie year. And
Hmm.
then they're like, we're just tearing this fucker down. And I think Ted was like, I don't want to be a part of that. So they're like, okay, bye.
Okay, and then didn't Scott
And,
Gordon
and
replace
yeah, and then we got Mr. Overspeed, Scott Gordon, and all
Mr.
that.
Who?
Overspeed. I'll never forget that. He's like, we're installing a system. We're gonna call it Overspeed.
I
We're
don't
just
remember
gonna
this.
yeah. And they finished last in the league.
Go to ludicrous speed, and then he got fired. Who took over for him? I can't remember. It's just been a
Mm,
litany. Was that when like Snow
Fred
came in?
Flintstone.
Who's
Well, no,
Fred
no.
Flintstone?
Snow's been around since Nolan, I think.
Didn't Snow coach the
Sterling,
team for like a day or two?
maybe.
So okay, so then they fired Gordon, and who's Fred Flintstone?
Jack Capuano.
Ah, that's
He was
right.
there for like 5 years, I think. He was there for a
Yeah,
while, like for a long.
yeah,
He was there for most of the Tavares like time,
yes.
and then it was Dougie. I don't think Tavares never played for Trotz.
No, they hired Trotz and they
Just
tried to
man,
convince him to.
two ships in
Yep,
the night.
yep, yep.
Yeah, so fucking we gave Jonathan Tavares, Pajama Boy. We gave him Scott Gordon and Jack Capuano as coaches,
Yep.
and Doug
So,
White.
but I will say, if you have you read any of like Maple Leaf Twitterland at all?
Oh, I should.
You should.
Whenever I'm feeling bad, yeah, I have to go over there and
So I got a buddy. So
soak
I got
in
a buddy
sugar for it.
who lives in Toronto, and he is a Leafs fan, and he knows my disdain for Tavares. And when the Leafs
And the Leafs in
got
general, we've always hated those guys.
yeah, but I mean that just I took it to the next level. So
Right.
when we had the Leafs get ousted in the second round, right, to Florida, he was like just sending me all the stuff about Leafs Twitter and all the
Yeah.
anger, and like they want to buy out Tavares. That's the
Good.
fan base.
Oh yeah,
They
no,
hate
they
him.
all wanted him off. Yeah, out of the big
They're like
four, he's the one.
he's like the most expensive. We're not going to be able to sign fucking Matthews. He sucks. He doesn't show up in the playoffs, and I'm just like, You know,
Which is ironic because I think he scored the game-winning goal to actually win them a goddamn playoff series. But hey,
he did. But you know,
whoops.
so
Well,
sometimes
yeah,
you get what you ask for, Johnny boy.
and sometimes you shouldn't pay a 35-year-old $11 million a year. Hear that, Lou?
Right, right.
To Lou's
Maybe
credit, he's never paid anybody 11 a year though. Yeah.
maybe he'll. Oh no, he did. He paid Ilya Kovalchuk like $47 million a year.
Oh, that's
That
right.
was the contract that
With like the 20
like
years, like backloaded.
that was the contract that like they had to redo the salary
They
cap for.
changed the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
changed the rules. Yeah.
Hey, Lou's a visionary.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Hey,
it's what he does. He
if it's
still
gonna be
does it,
Lou
man.
versus like if it's gonna be Lou versus Gary Bettman, I'm rooting for Lou every time.
Oh yeah, he
Good
still
job, Lou.
does it every year. I mean, the Casey Cizikas contract. He's like,
Yep, that's another one.
I'll give
Coming.
you $15 million over 6 years.
Yep.
But you got 6 years, and we'll front load it. We'll give you 15 million. We'll give you, you know, 10 million in year one, and then we'll give you 1 million for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And then by the time you
Annuities.
retire, you'll get it's like a little retirement gift. It's fine, Casey.
Hey,
don't worry.
That's fine because he loves stuff in the cap, right? And by the way, coming soon, Scott Mayfield, 7 years, 14 million.
Dude, I was just gonna say, do you think yeah, we're gonna get Mayfield on like an eight year,
yes.
$16 million contract?
Yep. I mean, Ross Johnson got 5 years.
Oh, 4. He is signed concurrent 4-year, $4 million deals.
What a
and
life.
He played 16 games last year.
Yeah,
16 games because Lambert doesn't like him.
Which might be his career.
He played way more than that the year before. He played like 50 games in the year before. And like, look, when this identity line finally checks out after this year, because there's no way we can re-sign Cal Clutterbuck or Matt Martin after this year. He can be your fourth line winger, right? Him and Fashing and Cizikas can be your fourth line, and I don't have a fucking problem with that.
Absolutely,
because then it makes sense. Your fourth line is making less than $5 million total, but right now your fourth line is making like $8 million total or some shit. I don't know. Actually, they may actually only be making $5 million with the new contracts they signed. So I guess that line doesn't make.
Yeah, I would love Fashing on the fourth with pick one, Matt or Cal going forward. I think it's Cal's time, but I've said that like 4 years in a row. So he's got one more year.
They all got one more year. Well, the two of those wingers got one more year, and I can't imagine Cal. I can't imagine coming back. Matt actually played not terrible this year, so he might have another year or two in the tank. But I don't think Cal's got anything left after this year. I don't think he wants to because he's like going to be 35 this year, and he's my size, and he's definitely a badass. Yeah, he's literally my size, and he just crushes people. So, and I'm 5'10", like 185. That's Cal Clutterbuck right there. So, and he just doesn't. He just throws his body around and doesn't give a fuck. So, anyway, buddy, it's been a fun show. We talked a lot about poop. We talked a lot about the Mets and their offense, which is also poop and flutes, and the lack of Islander news.
Real quick, are the Denver Nuggets going to take care of this real quickly, or you don't care?
Sweep.
Yeah,
sweep.
You think it's a sweep? Okay.
Yeah, I mean
it's hard to disagree with that, but
the Celtics are the biggest joke of a fucking playoff team. They were already talking about firing the coach that they fired their other coach to replace.
You want to make them the Via?
Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, keep going then. Boston Celtics, Via Con
Diaz. Boston Celtics. You guys have Jason Tatum, who's Mr. Subway, fucking MVP possibility, blah, blah, blah. You stink in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown, you stink in the playoffs. Fucking Al Horford, you're old. And Joe Manzanella, or whatever the fuck your name is, that replaced Ime Udoka, who got such a raw deal. I still don't understand that. The guy had that team like playing really well, one of the best defensive teams, and you look, I don't support sexual harassment and infidelity in the workplace, but that has nothing to do with your fucking job. And if in the NBA, that shit happens all the time. And if that was the problem and that was what happened, the way they fucking outed him and made it a public fucking display was, I don't understand. I don't understand. It didn't make any sense. And then
I feel like
to put him on suspension. But then to put him on suspension,
that made no sense.
Only to like let him, like, what were you hoping that he didn't file a lawsuit against you? Was that what it was?
I,
It made no sense, and it was
I feel
handled
like
like
they feel burned
idiots.
from that Isaiah Thomas situation with the Knicks a long time ago, and that's the
I don't
thinking
know,
behind
man.
this
I don't
stuff.
know if
That,
you,
no,
but if
that's
you
my only
felt like
guess.
that,
I don't
if
know.
you felt like he was, breaking company rules and having an inappropriate relationship in the workplace, you could have just fired him for fucking terminated
Yeah,
him
for
for breach of
cause,
contract,
right there.
and then just either pay him or don't pay him, and then let the media try and piece it together. But like to have that stupid fucking press conference and out him like that, and like his wife, his whole family had to go through that, like that's why the
Right,
Celtics are fucking assholes. And then you put this guy Manzella in place, and then
Missoula,
you have
Mountaineer.
whatever the fuck his name is, and then he was clearly outcoached in the playoffs because he's 34 years old, and it was a
Everybody
bit
was
the
hating on
moment.
him. Yeah.
The moment was bigger than him. I think he's going to be a good coach. This was his first time in the playoffs. He needs experience. I
It's
think.
jarring because I remember him playing college basketball, and it feels like yesterday. So it's jarring
I
that he's a head coach. By the way, I
I
was like,
don't remember him playing college
no, I
basketball.
do because my brother went to West Virginia, and so I've seen like I remember those teams were good. Those Bob Huggins teams. So like
Oh, that
he has the
guy.
pedigree. Yes.
That guy, how
Nope.
is that guy
We
not
forgot to
fired?
mention him.
That's what I
You
so
know why?
so
Because he's in that he's on that Bayheim level. Well, like
dude,
Bayheim drove over somebody.
Boeheim killed someone, probably drunk and got away with it. But Bob Huggins recently went on a podcast and just
Yeah.
eviscerated like transgender and gay people. And all he had to
And he
do,
also called the whole school a bad word.
yeah, what Notre Dame was it? The Notre Dame
No,
lacrosse team?
Xavier.
Xavier? Okay.
He called them the hard F thing, and
Yeah, the hard F, like it not
they're a
good.
bunch of
Yeah, and so clearly he sounded like he was drunk on this show,
Well, he
and
might have been.
probably, and the guy got like sensitivity training and like a fine.
He brings the
What?
Bucks into West Virginia, baby.
I don't care, man. Like this just doesn't make sense. So anyway,
Oh yeah,
enough
there's
about it. So via con Dios to the fucking Boston Celtics. Go fuck yourselves. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown fight over your max deals that you guys are gonna probably turn into hating each other, and I can't wait to watch this fucking thing implode.
yeah. It's like another Kyrie situation brewing. I love it. And honorable mention to Gary Sanchez and Jimmy Yacobonis. We hardly knew you guys.
Jimmy Yacobonis sounds like a guy that owns the Greek diner fucking in New
Yeah,
York City.
well,
So
he's going back to it.
yeah. All right, Dougie. It's been a
Fun
great
show,
show.
man. We should do more Saturdays.
We should. All right. I'll drink next time. I'll talk to you soon.
I hope so.
Audience.